Hey guys, after long discussions and a serious look at our finances, we were trying to figure out what bike rack to put on the van so that we can take our bikes with us. We were looking at the Italian one that mounts to the door, and that looks beautiful and everything, nice aluminum. The two things I saw negative about that were the cost, $700 and something, and also that you have to drill holes in your van door, which I'm not real keen on. Just seems like it would lead to possible problems in the future with rust. So anyway, we decided to go with a hitch mount. We went ahead and removed the spare tire. Here's the box the bike rack came in. I did look it up, actually March did, and it was $130 from Amazon. It came in 3 days, some crazy quick delivery. So it's great because we're leaving in 2 days on our trip. So let's go ahead and see what's inside the box. So we went with a bike rack. Goes on the hitch, and the bikes sit on the bike rack by the wheels. The wheels actually sit on the bike rack rather than the last one I had on my pickup truck. The bikes dangled off from the top, and I guess that would be perfect if you had the totally horizontal bar like the old boys bikes had, but we don't. Mine has a slant to it, and Marge's has even more of a slant, so the bikes all end up all wickety-wackety on the thing, wheels high and all sorts of crazy stuff. So we went with the one here that the wheels actually fit into these little grooves, and rather than the bike dangling, the bike's sitting on the rack. So we'll see what it looks like and how it works. She's together for the most part. We just have to mount her to the van. It looked uncomplicated. It was probably the easiest thing I've ever put together. So far I didn't use any tools. Everything just slid together. All is good. So I had mentioned that, I think I had mentioned that I had bought a 7-inch extender that is also an adapter to go from the 2-inch to 1 1/4 inch trailer hitch. The rack has an adapter already in it. So we'll see how, this brings it out 7 inches. So we'll see how the rack sits with the bikes on it, see how close they are to the van, and then we can determine whether or not we want to go ahead and put that extender on it to bring the bikes further away from the van. So let's see what it looks like. See if I can do this without blood, no blood. Should be right there. Alright, anyway, I think it takes a different bolt. We'll see. It did, it takes a different bolt. I'm probably going a whole lot easier now. So the bolt has screws on it, has threads on it, and the hitch itself has female threads, so it pulls it all together. So hopefully that'll cut down on some of the wobbling once it's all tight. But the hitch itself, I think, looks great. It has pins, so when it's actually not in use, it all folds up. Both sides come up. These are adjustable. So let's go ahead and see if I'm going to need that extender. So I'll bring the bikes over, set them in, adjust these to where they fit the wheels properly. I'll tighten down that bolt, and we'll see how it looks. Okay, so we put the bike on. We adjusted these the supports for the wheels, and without the extension on here, we are to the point where I'm not comfortable with the handlebars touching the van. Would be the glass, not the paint, but still, I have the extension. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and take the bike back off, take the bike rack off, and then I'm going to slide the extension on and then put the bikes back on and see how it sits then. So that's where we are now. I'm really happy with the bike rack. It's very secure. I tightened up, there were 2 bolts down here, I don't know if you noticed before, it wobbled. Okay, I mean that's pretty tight. I mean, I'm very pleased with it. I wasn't sure how I would like it, but so I'm going to go ahead and put the extension on here and get back to you once we have it done. Okay, so I put the extension on. Like it a whole lot better. We have all sorts of clearance here between the handlebar and the glass. The hitch, because I just have a regular 2-inch going into the 2-inch receiver, it gives it a little bit more play, which I may address and shim that up or something so we don't have the movement. But the bikes are far away from the inside bike is far away from the door. So all cool. I'll just show you real quick how you mount the bikes. So there's just a lever here you push in with your thumb, goes up and down. While this is up, just you can bring it right off. And if you pull a pin here, this part lays right down and the bike comes off the rack. The cool thing is with this on like this, we can still open the doors. I believe even with this up, yeah, even with it up, we can open the doors and it clears just fine. So as much as I liked having the spare here, not having the spare, having access to both doors, the bike situation is taken care of with this. I'm very pleased. You know, the pins can come out, both of them can fold up, the pins go back in. I don't have the outside bikes secured yet because I'm not sure where they'll go. But you just slide them so they line up with the wheels, you tighten the little fella down, and it's good to go. I am like blown away how easy this was and that it went so well. After the hanging bike rack I had on here before, even with the extension, everything was moving all over the place. Then once I dangled the bikes off of it, it wasn't clean. It was very goofy. Here we have a nice secure center post, so even when the bikes are on there, I'm a little wacky. I'll probably still put a line around it just so it's secured to this middle post, which is nice and sturdy. So very pleased. Swagman, what was it? Swagman XC2, $130. How can you beat it? Extremely pleased. Both bikes are on. It was very simple. These go up and down, adjust just with your thumb. Super. You know, I'll probably get a little weird and just tie them together so that they don't go anywhere if we hit any crazy bumps or anything, or if one of these fails. But it's great. I mean, we have the clearance off the van. Can't ask for anything more. Very pleased. So we'll see. Going on the road on Thursday. It's Tuesday right now. So 2 days we'll put it to the test. And you know, if something happens, we'll let you know. If not, we're good to go.